Chapter 36. Back in 2017, I went to Samoa with family. After 2 weeks of being there, I saw a dude in the next village over and knew I had known him from somewhere, but just didn't know where. After a few months of thinking, I finally remembered where I knew him from. He used to stay here in New Zealand before going back home. However, I never knew he had an older brother. Before going to Samoa, I stayed in Australia. So when I was back in the motherland, everyone knew I was an outsider. That guy I mentioned earlier noticed I was there. He's a couple of years younger than me, and I always classed him as a moipi back in New Zealand due to his wannabe gangster demeanour. She classed him as like a little shit, basically. A day after seeing Moipi, I get a message request. I check to see who it is, and it's Moipi's older brother. At first, I was like, ooh, but then he ended up being the biggest sweetheart while I was in Samoa. He ended up being my bodyguard, making sure I was safe when I went anywhere, was my lifeguard at the waterfall in case I drowned, would walk me home from volleyball at night together with everyone else, and was the only one that helped me when I ended up with a stomach bug, bringing me Panadol, Sprite, and food. So he's looking for a sponsor. My boy cousins hated Moipi and his big brother. Then there was me that just couldn't stay the hell away from Big Brother. Nothing happened at all during my stay as I played the innocent one. So then what was the point? He was helping you in exchange for something, girl. Come on. But girl, I just wanted to see what all the fuss was about with these island guys. The fuss is they're all married. I kept my legs crossed and left Samoa 3 months later and almost ended up being an overstayer as my holiday went from 2 weeks to 3 months. That trip was a straight unlucky moment for the both of us. Anyways, fast forward to almost 6 years later, I now have a man that loves and adores me. But lately he has been hella shady with the stuff that he does. It frustrates me because after 4 years of being together, you'd think I'd be engaged or something. Do you know it only took Titi 3 weeks to propose to me? I need to do a story time on how we met because everyone keeps asking. Anyways, I got a friend request on Facebook from Big Brother. I accepted as I haven't heard from him since 2019. We got to chatting and all, which led to calls, video calls, good morning messages, and then boom, there I was paying my flight to Samoa to go to him. Yep, I paid my flight and flew over to motherland. He picked me up from the airport and I was so nervous as I haven't seen or been around him since 2017. Back to my hotel we go. He knew I was in a relationship, so he knew not to try anything on me. He was in a relationship too. So it was basically just two mates that haven't seen each other for a couple of years linking up. Next minute, 2 days later, he was all up in my everything. His missus knew something was up as she couldn't get a hold of him. Eventually, he calls her and talks to her. I'm outside soaking up the sunset and being nosy on what's happening outside. Then all you could hear is him yelling at her that I'm his cousin. The audacity of this bongaua. So I took it one step further and wanted to meet her since he kept telling me that I remind him so much of her. I was looking forward to seeing this person that he's claiming I remind him of. This is where Wapa'ua points a cousin. I said hi to her, told her I was his cousin, smiled and walked away to give them some privacy. All I heard when I walked away was her crying, legit bawling her eyes out. It was raining, so I didn't know if her tears were real or not. I sat in the car and laughed at whatever bullshit was happening outside. Not even 5 minutes later, he left her to come back to the car while she walked towards the ocean. He broke up with her on the spot. Like, what the hell, brother? I'm only here for the fun time, not a long time. Anyways, I enjoy the rest of my birthday trip away and say goodbye to my babes from the islands. It's time for me to leave Samoa. I say goodbye and hop on the plane to return home. Is it just me or do all guys in Samoa get attached? Yes, they do. They all get attached. He just wouldn't let me live. It was cause to see who's picking me up, who's with me, where I was, and who I was with. Like, excuse you? Angawhia nga o ai tu aku yawe. The day you touched him was the day you said I do, basically, okay? Yeah, I never did, so please get off my ass. Then come the time. Did you tell him to get off your ass when he was doing you? Then came the time where I had to face my partner. Oh my gosh, I felt so guilty for all the bad things I did overseas. But this onga ake didn't seem to have missed me at all. It was back to being in a shitty mood as soon as I sat in our car. On the way home, I legit just wanted to jump on a plane and go back to motherland, only to get home to a whole ass hearty meal cooked, birthday presents everywhere, and the bestest late birthday sex a girl could ask for. I have gone back to Samoa twice, and I have been doing the bad things with Big Brother every time. Do I regret it? No, because I see it as whatever happens in another country stays in that country. Don't worry, guys. I'm always getting my bonans checked because ain't nobody got time to catch any nasties, let alone get pregnant. I'm just a girl living a kokorakiki life. Will I stop? Maybe after this trip. God, that was a lot. Okay, next one. Dear Bad Things, I'm currently living in Hawaii, and when I was 18, a lady in my church never liked me, and I never knew why or cared to know why until she started telling people in church that I was trying to steal her man. Is this Auntie Millet? Is it Auntie Millet? Is it Auntie Millet? Mind you, at the time, I didn't even know she had a man or was even married since she was new to the church. I am very antisocial, so before anybody exits the church, I'm already waiting in the car for my parents and siblings. So after months of her spreading fake rumors and people giving me dirty looks every time I come around, I stopped going to church for a whole year. And when I returned a year later, her husband, Ben, was already a member. And yes, Ben was a daddy. But you know that saying, you can look but no touch? Yeah, well, that's how I kept it since he was married, and literally after just 2 Sundays of going to church, the rumors were going around again. Like, Oka, does she see me looking? Anyways, she had this going for months and months again, and instead of me stopping myself from going to church again, I put her words into action. Yeah, Ale, we did the bad things every chance we got, even in her car.